Hello guys and welcome back to my channel for another video. So last time we produced a list of free agents for the National League North and South teams. Today I'm back with a list of players who are available as free agents or available to sign as a National League side. So let's jump in to today's list of players. So then guys, before we get into things today, I just wanted to share with you the fact that I have selected to be Maidenhead. They are 200 to 1 to win the National League. There is one team that has a worse odds in the pre-season preview in the National League, and that is Eastleigh. However, if you look at Eastleigh, they have a 1.5 star reputation, whereas the team that I have decided to go for, Maidenhead, only have a 1 star reputation. So if the players in this list are willing to sign for Maidenhead, I can assure you they will sign for any of these clubs above, so you shouldn't have any issues pulling them in regardless of who you decide to manage. So as you can see here, I have got a selection of players covering a majority of the positions. I haven't necessarily gone for wing backs or too many right midfielders or left midfielders, but obviously you can retrain some of these players to play in the positions. So obviously these right backs, for instance, they can play right wing back. You can train them into playing that as well. Same with the attacking midfield right and attacking midfield left to play left midfield and right midfield, should that fit your formation. So we're going to start at the back of the pitch and we are going to start with the goalkeepers. So let's get into this first goalkeeper. So first things first, we have Matt Jones, who is one of the 2 goalkeepers that I have on this list for you guys. He has really good technical stats for the division. Nice aerial reach, good command of the area, handling, kicking and reflexes all pretty strong as well. Good at rushing out. Also has a tendency to punch, decent throwing as well, good positioning, good bravery, so he will get stuck into those, decent strength as well, which always helps for a goalkeeper. Nice technique as well. He is currently, he is 6'3" and almost 13 stone. Is English, so you won't have to worry about a work permit or anything like that, but he is currently based in the US. As you can see here, he is belonging to Elm City, so you can approach to sign him if you go here and approach to sign. As you can see though, he does not want to join Maidenhead. Hopefully this isn't a theme of these players in the video. If it is, I'm probably going to have to redo it and be Notts County or someone like that. Notts County or Yeovil or some other higher reputation team in the division. So Matt Jones sadly will not be joining Maidenhead. That is potentially because he has a club. But let's get into the other goalkeeper and see if they want to join us. So next up is Jamie Stevens, the goalkeeper who has been recently released from Barnet. He's 25 years old, he's English, is a natural in the goalkeeper role and can play sweeper keeper pretty well as well. Same as the previous goalkeeper, really nice handling, really good one-on-ones with this guy as well. Really good reflexes, decent enough positioning, good enough concentration and anticipation, that sort of thing. Same again, 6'2", 11 stone, not a bad goalkeeper. So let's go and approach to sign Jamie Stevens, and Jamie Stevens would come in as a star player for Maidenhead, so you can finalise the promise. How much would this cost to me? He wanted 700, but you can easily haggle him down a little bit. I reckon he'd go for 600, and then he's happy with the 600. So that is a goalkeeper there, Jamie Stevens, who would potentially be one of the best goalkeepers in the division should you sign him. So moving into the defence, and we start off with the right back spot. We have Jamaican international Sean Cummings, can play right back, can kind of play right wing back as well if you needed him to. Has plied his trade recently in the Football League with spells at Reading, Millwall, Rotherham and Doncaster. Really nice fullback, really good physicals on the boy. Nice work rate as well, good teamwork, good positioning, really nice off the ball. Not too bad in terms of determination, composure, concentration, that sort of thing for the mental side of stuff. But he also has really good tackling technique, possesses a decent long throw as well for those of you who value a set piece like I do. Nice first touch and can also cross a ball. If we go to approach him, will you sign for Maidenhead? He will not sign for Maidenhead. As you will see in this list, Maidenhead's reputation is pretty poor in comparison to some of the other clubs in the division. So some of these may not sign if you are Maidenhead, but they would sign for you should you be slightly higher up the division. Into the next right back, we have Aaron Phillips, who has been recently released from Northampton Town. Similar as Cummings, pretty good all across the field, really nice technique, good tackling, decent marking, good heading. 10 dribbling and crossing for the National League is pretty good for a fullback as well. Really nice, well-rounded mentals. You'd probably like a little bit more in terms of aggression, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers. 5'6", 11 stone, decent pace, decent stamina as well. Let's approach Aaron Phillips and see if he wants to join. He would be willing to join, but here are his promises. Wants to come in as a star player, would like to improve the coaching team, will look to strengthen the following areas, would like to strengthen midfielders. That's fine, let's just say yes. He wants a slightly more expensive wage, but let's see if I can adjust I can't adjust my budgets at all. Let's see if you could try and get him for 600, and there he accepts the £600 a week contract. So not too bad. Relegation release clause in there. You may want to haggle some of this down in your own save, but there we go. That is Aaron Phillips. Next up, we have the Cypriot international Stelios Demetriou. I believe his brother plays for Southend, but this guy is very versatile, can cover both fullback positions. Not so good in the tackling or the marking aspects of being a fullback, but is pretty good at going forward. Decent crossing, decent dribbling as well. Nice smattering of mental attributes and pretty good in the physicals as well. Either footed, so that is a bonus. And as I mentioned, can play both left back and right back as a natural, and is also accomplished at the both wing back spots. He is currently contracted to Bradford, PA. So let's have a look at Bradford, PA. They are in the National League North. So you'd like to think that I have a slightly bigger pull. But he is not interested in coming to Maidenhead. This may be a theme of the video, but as I've mentioned previously, if you are slightly higher up the National League pecking order, you may be able to sign some of these players as well. So finally, for the right back slot, we have Sebastian Cantini, the French 31-year-old. He is currently playing for this team. He is part of the regional divisions in France. Really good all across the board, slightly older, so you know his physicals may drop off slightly quicker. Really good in the mental stakes, but then also possesses good tackling, marking, you know, heading is not too bad, but he is a fullback, so that's not as big an issue as opposed to a centre back. Nice long throw attribute as well. 11 for free kick taken, again, not too bad, a stat to have in your team. 11 crossing, 10 corners as well, so not too bad. For Cantini, he is not willing to join either, mainly down to the squad strength at Maidenhead. But if you were higher up, I'm sure you could get him into your team. Now we move into the centre-backs, and first up we have French 21-year-old Hugo Mesbah. He is currently unattached, so maybe a little bit easier to pull in. He has currently been recently released from Tours FC. 10 heading, 11 marking, 11 passing, 11 tackling. Not too bad as a potential ball-playing centre-back. He is left-footed as well, which is quite nice. Pretty good pace of 13 pace and 15 acceleration. Nice leadership as well as positioning and work rate and bravery. Makes him really good for a centre-back at this level. So when we approach him, Hugo Mesbah is keen on a contract, wants to be our star player, as do most of the players on this list. Wants to come in part-time, £525 a week, not too bad at all. Next up in the centre-back spot, we have Ash Kigbu. Given the look of him in my face pack, it looks like he's been released from Manchester City. Having been at one of their affiliates last year. Yes, that is correct. So Manchester City youth prospect, amazing physicals on the guy here. Decent in the mentals that you need him to be, pretty good determination, positioning, work rate, that sort of thing. Decent anticipation, decisions, concentration, that sort of thing. Really good technically for a defender at this level as well, with the 12, 11 and 12 in the heading, marking and tackling aspects. Obviously he is wanted by quite a lot of League 1 and League 2 clubs. I can see Barnet, Bristol Rovers in there, Doncaster as well. So he's wanted by quite a lot of teams. Would Ash Kigbu come? He will not be willing to join Maidenhead. Definitely worth a try if you are someone else in the division though. Next up we have Filippo Foroni, who in my opinion looks like a new gen with some of his stats. It looks like they've just gone, yeah, let's go 10s all across the board. Has basically a double digit in every mental attribute apart from aggression. Definitely does have double digits in every physical attribute, along as being 6'4". Also good heading, good marking, decent passing, decent tackling and good technique. He is currently playing for this team in the lower divisions of Italy. Obviously, we can try and approach to sign him. Again, another player who doesn't want to join Maidenhead, but again, further up the league, you may have more joy with some of these players. Next up is another Italian. We have Stefano Ciavatini. Let's say that. Really good again, offers the versatility of kind of being able to play right back as well. Really nice physicals, 6'1", same as sort of all the others really. Really good in the defending stats that you need to look for. He is unattached, having just been released by Regina in Italy. Let's approach him. And he is willing to come in, wants to be a star player, same improve the coaching team, intensive language course as he is Italian, look to strengthen the midfielders, finalised promise, yep, that's fine. He wants a bit of an exceptional wage, obviously we can't afford this at the moment. We could potentially look at offloading some of our players to play around with the wage budget, but it looks like he is wanting over £1,000 a week, which is quite expensive, but you know, you could make room if you need that centre-back. And finally, for the centre-back roles, we have Bakary Sissoko, who I feel is probably the best player out of the centre-backs that I've shown you. Is a natural at centre-back and defensive midfield. Good first touch, good heading, nice marking and passing, really good technique and tackling as well. Really nice mental attributes where they count a lot of 10s and 11s in there as well. And all double digits for the physical attributes. 6'1", young centre-back, only 20 years old, so he can grow with you as well. Let's approach him. He's not interested. Same story as some of the others. So moving into the left back spots, next up we have Vashan Nevul, 19-year-old Englishman who is wanted by several League One and League Two clubs, also Notts County knocking around in there. Recently released from Newport, but is a West Ham youth prospect or former prospect. Really nice attributes all across the board here for a fullback as well. As I said, he is wanted by some clubs higher up in the divisions than me, but is willing to negotiate terms, wants to be a star player, improve the coaching team, yada yada. Apparently the Maidenhead must have really poor midfielders because every player who is willing to take a contract is wanting a lot done to the midfield. Again, I don't really have the wage budget right now to deal with this. He wants a decent enough contract. I mean, we're looking at around, he's gotten down to 975 there. I reckon if I was able to offer somewhere in and around the 800 ballpark, he would accept it. But obviously, I cannot do that at the moment with the wage restraints of Maidenhead. But he would join if we did have the finances. So maybe you could change things around if you were to take over Maidenhead and you could bring in this left back. And next up, we have another left back and another Frenchman by the name of Moussa Niakate. Really good stats in here. It's really nice determination, really good natural fitness, which definitely does help with the fullback slots. Good first touch, not the greatest heading, but he is only 5'9". Decent marking, decent tackling, really good technique as well. Actually, 9 is not too bad at all. Good positioning, concentration, decisions as well, anticipation, really helps in the fullback roles. Has been recently released by Stoke, wanted by a decent number of teams in there, majority of those in League Two. So let's approach to sign him. He would come in, star player, coaching teams, same as everyone else, wants us to improve the midfielders. Would also just want £425 a week, so I could easily afford this Frenchman. So another good left back there. Let's move into the midfield spots. So we have a couple of players here that can play defensive midfield and central midfield. First up is Frank Semu. The Danish 26-year-old who is currently at a club, I don't know where, GVI are based. They're in the Denmark Series second group. So yeah, he's got a decent amount of stats here. Nothing too special in terms of the technical attributes, but it's definitely the mental attributes where this guy shines. Also has the interesting player traits of dives into tackles and tries long range passes. Decent little player, nothing too spectacular, but let's see if he would sign for Maidenhead. He wants to come in as important player, wants a big pay rise. I usually try and remove that, wants to play in central midfield with a ball winning midfielder role, that's fine. And he wants £400 a week. So yeah, not too bad. Easily affordable, Frank Semu. Next up on this list is Welshman Lee Lucas, who is currently playing for Merthyr, valued at nothing. has played for the Welsh under-21s. Really nice, decent array of stats in the technical attributes. Good technique, really good passing, decent heading. 9 long shots is not too bad. 10 first touches, again, pretty good. Nice bravery, good composure, good determination, good teamwork and vision and stuff like that for a central midfielder. Looks like he could be a real creative playmaker for you. Right-footed only. Seems relatively balanced if you look at his attribute graph on the right-hand side there. If you approach him from Merthyr, he is willing to join us as just as a squad player, wants to play as a central midfielder with the role of advanced playmaker. Let's go and negotiate that contract. He wants to come in on a non-contract with a £500 appearance fee. I mean, you can't do much better than that, can you? Let's see if I can knock this down to, let's say, 250. He wants 475. Looks like you could probably get him at 425 an appearance. That's not too bad for a player of this caliber. So would definitely recommend looking at Lee Lucas if you need a creative central midfielder. Next up is Drissa Traore, the Ivorian who has been released from Tranmere. As you can see in my face pack, he is in a Forest Green Rovers kit. He is wanted by a number of clubs in the Football League. As you can see why. Nice mental attributes, nice physical attributes. Again, defensive midfielder, fairly sporting, good passing, good technique, decent enough tackling, I guess, not too bad. Good dribbling, good first touch. Let's approach to sign him and see if he wants to join us. He does not. As I've mentioned, is the financial package on offer from Maidenhead. Looks like they really are cash strapped, and it looks like it would not be enough to force him to relocate. Looks like he's more interested in clubs in the north of England. Okay, next up we have a German, Mike Andreas, 22 years old, playing for a team in the Luxembourg division. Who knew? Defensive midfielder, nice and decent all around, not the most physical, but does possess a decent amount of pace. 12 pace, 12 agility, 14 acceleration, not too bad. In the mental attributes, could do with a little bit of work, but some of the key ones such as vision, teamwork, positioning and stuff aren't too bad in the 8s and 9s. Really good technique, good tackling, really nice passing, good marking as well, decent long shot, so if he gets in with a chance of a shot, he could potentially take his chance. Good first touch as well, can play as a natural in the defensive midfield and as a central midfield player. If we approach to sign Andreas, he wants to come in, star player, would like to bring in a former friend or teammate. I hate that, would always exclude that. Intensive language, blah, 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 pay rise, whatever, improve the midfield standard. Let's suggest promises. Okay, he didn't like that because I wouldn't allow him to bring in a friend of his or a former teammate. Bear that in mind if you go to try and sign Mike Andreas. And finally, in the defensive midfield spot, we have Amin Linganzi, the absolute powerhouse that is, having been released from Salford. Really nice in the technical attributes, pretty good in the mental attributes as well, and really nice in the physical attributes. For natural fitness is sub-ideal, but I'm sure you could find a worse defensive midfielder out there than this guy. 6'2" as well, so he's going to feel pretty solid in the central midfield role or in the defensive midfield role. Has a trait of shoots from distance as well, which isn't too bad. 9 long shots for your CDM, why not? He currently is wanted by Carlisle and crew. If we go to approach him, he's not interested. Some of these guys, this reputation, I didn't realise how bad the reputation on Maidenhead was. Good player for this level. I would highly recommend him as probably the best player that you've seen so far in this list. Okay, so moving slightly up the pitch now, we are into the central midfielder spots exclusively, and we have Felix Beerdorf, is a German who can play as a natural in central midfield, but can also play in attacking midfield, defensive midfield, and or centre back. Really, really nice technical attributes on this guy, having been released from RB Leipzig. Nice mental attributes as well, pretty good physicals as well. Would probably come in and be one of the best central midfielders in the division. Let's approach to sign him. Wants to come in as a star player, not too bad, we can deal with that. £500 a week on a part-time contract for 2 years. That is not a problem. If we were to get promoted, I think this guy would be able to handle himself in League 2. So I don't mind paying that contract too much at all. Okay, next up we have Prince Bouabin. Again, another decent technical attributes on this guy, really nice mentals, pretty good physicals as well, can't complain on this guy. He is 31 years old, he has been capped by Ghana, looks like he spent a majority of his career in North England / Scotland, Partick Thistle in there, Hearts, Falkirk most recently. Seems a really good player, nice balanced midfielder, very experienced, shoots from distance and takes his time on the ball, not a problem too much for a central midfielder. it would pay to have an experienced head in your team. So let's go to contract and approach the sign. Wants to come in as a star player, that's not a surprise, most of these guys do. £800 a week, let's say 600. Can you come all the way down to 600? Come on. Yeah, you can get them for 600, so that's not too bad. You can get them for probably a little bit less as well. You could take away some of these bonuses and stuff like that, agent fee, that sort of thing. Not too bad for a player of Principal Addons' character. Next up, we have the Spaniard Nicolas Garmendia. Can play as a natural at central midfield or central attacking midfield. Not too bad on the left and the right attacking midfield spots, but you probably wouldn't want to play him there. A really nice dribbling, first touch, 9 finishing for a central attacking midfielder is not too bad at all. Nice 10 long shots, good passing, good technique. 13 vision is brilliant, coupled with the 14 flair. Really nice mental attributes in some of the other areas as well. Leadership, who cares? He's probably not going to be your captain, is he? He's also got 5 strength and 4 jumping reach, but you know, Spanish guy, I guess, not necessarily known for their technical abilities, not necessarily their physical prowess when it comes to strength or jumping reach. Really nice player in the middle of the park who could probably unlock a lot of teams for you. Career stats looks like he's just left Udinese, having not played. Wants to come in as star player, improve the coaching team. Intensive language course for English, not a problem. Wants to improve the midfielders. Well, you would be one of the main things in doing that, sir. We can't do the 10%. Can I knock you down to £600? Mate, I can't afford that. Okay, you can haggle him down. I'm not overly impressed on the seasonal landmark bonuses there for goals. Relegation release clause, that's not a problem. Promotion pay, wage rise, again, not ideal at 35%, but I'm just trying to negotiate these super quick just so you guys can see. £600 a week, sign on fees, not too bad. Agent fees are a little bit too high, but you can always negotiate these down. And another Spaniard who can play central attacking midfield but can also play up front is Diego Sanchez. He is wanted by a number of clubs all across the world, Newcastle Jets, as well as some of the guys in the Middle East by the looks of things, a couple of Australian clubs, a couple of other clubs in there. Really nice finishing, dribbling, first touch, nice heading as well, good passing, good technique, really nice mental attributes and pretty good pace as well as being 6'1". I think he could handle the physical chores of the National League. If we go to approach to sign him, wants to be a star player, intensive language course because he is Spanish, of course, and wants to improve the midfielders, not a problem. Finalised promise. He wants a little bit more than we can afford in the wage department. I'm sure you could have a play around with this and get a better deal that suits the club, but I'm just rattling through these players super quick now as we are moving towards the end of the list. Next on the list then we have Rye Simmons, who is the guy from Bermuda, has been recently released from Chesterfield, who obviously were a National League side themselves. He is wanted by a couple of clubs, Gillingham and Lincoln. Really nice technical attributes for a striker, good heading as well as being 6 foot. Really nice composure at 13 for this level is pretty good. Is a natural at striker, but also a natural at attacking midfield right. I would 100% go after this kind of player to be my striker. Is really nice player. Would highly recommend. He plays target man, can kind of play poacher pretty well as well, pressing forward and advance forward, not too bad as well. Would he sign for lowly Maidenhead? He would. Star player, wants to improve the midfielders. Who doesn't, mate? Don't worry about it. £650. You want to go for 600? He will go 600. And then landmark goal bonus of 20 goals for 2.3k. I'd be happy if a striker of mine hit 20 goals a season. Wouldn't complain, wouldn't mind paying that bonus. So there is Rye Simmons. Okay, another player for the attacking midfield right spot is Wilson Neeshaw, English player who's been released by Darlington. Not the most breathtaking in terms of technical stats, but really nice physical stats, can get up and down the field for you. Also offers the versatility option of being able to play attacking midfield right, left and striker. Probably not necessarily your leading player in your team, but a very good option and a utility man to have as well. Wanted by Gillingham, Rochdale, Fylde and Solihull Moors. We go to sign him. He's not interested. As I've mentioned many times in this video, if you're someone else higher up, check him out. Next up is German winger Melvin Krul. Is a natural on the left hand side and accomplished on the right hand side. Really nice crossing, good first touch, good passing, good technique for the boy. Pretty good mentals in determination, flair, leadership and off the ball. 12 pace is pretty good. He's going to feel pretty quick at National League level, having been released from Werder Bremen by the looks of things. 14 acceleration, 14 agility as well. No player traits, is a winger. I think he's a really good option. So if we go to sign him as Maidenhead, he would like to come in, star player, standard, and I'm sure we could haggle him down to 600. Yeah, £600 a week, and he is happy. This is winger Melvin Krul. And finally, we are on to the strikers, guys, and we have Will Miller here, who has been released by Burton. He is wanted by a number of clubs as well. Really, just look at the stats on this guy. He is phenomenal. Okay, yeah, he's not been setting the world alight with 2 goals in 47 appearances for Burton, but this is the National League. We're a couple of divisions below that. So let's see if Will Miller is willing to talk to Maidenhead. He's not. If you signed Will Miller, he would be the best player in the division by a country mile. So I definitely recommend checking him out. And finally, guys, we wrap things up with a Frenchman, which is Mokhtar Keita. Forward, can just play striker, nice dribbling, really nice finishing, good first touch, good heading as well. Pretty good aggression as well, so he'd probably be pretty good as a pressing forward or something like that. Nice anticipation as well, which suits into that role. Good determination, good flair, good leadership, decent off the ball. 6'2". Good, nice strength, good stamina. Not the best pace, but not the worst as well at 10. Pretty well rounded in terms of striker. If we go to sign him, obviously he does already have a club, so he's not interested. Doesn't think the squad is strong enough to play at a level to match his ambitions. As I've mentioned previously countless times, if you're higher up in the divisions, take a look at this guy. See if he was willing to join your club. Okay guys, so that brings us to the end of this list of players. If you haven't already seen my video for the National League North and South, I'd recommend clicking on the card up in the corner here and taking a look at that, because this is a completely different list. And most of the people in the North and South list that I put together would definitely cut it at National League level. So check that out by clicking the card in the top of the video and we can go from there. So let me know, guys, if you pick up any of these players for your teams, or if you're starting a save with a team in the National League. I will be back for another one of these, probably looking at League 2 teams next. But if there is anyone else that you would like me to take a look at, any other divisions or anything like that, please do let me know in the comments down below. And if you have enjoyed the video, guys, or find it useful, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel for more content. We have lots of stuff coming out coming soon, so make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss that. But until next time, guys, I'll see you soon.